Hi everyone, it's Laura from Sweet Handmade Cookies. Welcome back to the Sweet Handmade Cookies kitchen, where today I'm working on a set for Ryla's first Fiesta. So I have made the dough, I have rolled the dough, I have cut the shapes, and I have baked the shapes, and I have also made the royal icing, and that is what I'm working with right now. I am portioning out 6 bowls of royal icing that I will be coloring green, blue, purple, orange, red, and yellow. And after I have colored the icing, I'm not going to thin it right away. Usually I thin my icing. It's one of the first steps I do because the first thing I usually do is flood my cookies. But the first cookie I'm going to be working on is a piñata cookie. And for this design, I'm going to be using super stiff icing. And so I'll finish coloring these bowls of icing. I will transfer the icing into piping bags, and then I'll get started on the piñata cookie. Then I will come back and thin the icing for the other cookies that I need this icing for. So the icing is bagged up and ready to go, and I am starting on cookie number 2. As you can see, I already finished one of the piñata cookies, and I have to tell you that when I tried it the first time, I tried to freehand the lines, and it was a disaster. So I came back in, and I used an edible ink marker to draw lines using a ruler onto the cookies so that my lines on the piñatas would be very tidy. And so here I am going and adding in the colors. So after the red, I add on the green, and then the yellow, purple, orange, and blue. And now I'm going to take all these icing colors and thin them out so that I can use them to flood cookies. And here we go. This first one is going to be a taco cookie. I had to hand cut this design. I did not have this cookie cutter in my repertoire. So I'm flooding it yellow. And then I'm also doing a sombrero, another hand cut design. The sombrero is also that same yellow. And then I'm going to move on and I'm going to make the cactus cookies, and they are going to be green. And all the colors that I used in the piñata will be used in the various designs. So it'll tie it all together. So I've let these cookies dry for a number of hours, so I can now add on some of the details. And I had to look up what all the parts of the cactus are called because I just think of them as prickles. But those are actually the spines. The lines I'm making on these cookies are the pleats. Those are the arms that come off the main trunk of the cactus. Who knew cookie decorating could be so educational? Actually, my dad was a big cactus lover, but I had too many experiences with accidentally touching one and then having prickles stuck in my fingers for days that I'm not such a big lover of cactuses. In fact, I don't have much of a green thumb at all. I'd rather be in the kitchen than the garden. And then after I finish putting on all the spines, I'm going to add some flowers to each one of these cookies. And the flowers eventually turn into fruit. Who knew? So I wanted to include a 1 of some sort in this set. I could have done a cookie shaped like a number 1, but I wanted to try something different, and I wanted to include all the colors that are part of this set, including all the colors that are in the piñata cookie. And so here I am using the icing that I used on the piñata, that stiff icing. This was obviously filmed right after I created the piñata cookies. And here I am smearing out those colors, and now you can see them on the cookie. It looks a little bit like a rainbow on the cookie. And now I'm adding the shape of the one using my overhead projector. So I've printed out a number 1 in a font that I like. I am projecting that onto my cookie, and then I'm going to just outline it and then fill the rest of the cookie up with white icing so that it reveals the beautiful rainbow design. The next cookie I'm working on is a plaque cookie. I have flooded it white and allowed that to dry. And then I've come in using a fun font and put on Ryla's First Fiesta. And now I'm coming back in and creating a papel picado, which are those colorful paper banners you see all over Mexico, perfect for this First Fiesta themed set. And I'm using the same colors that I used in the piñata cookie. So I'm really trying to incorporate all those colors where I can. And in a second, I'm going to show you my trick for preventing craters in small bits of icing. If you are a cookie decorator, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say craters. And I learned this trick many years ago. What I do is I place my cookies under a heat lamp. I have this sitting right on my workstation. This heat lamp is actually the kind of lamp that you would use if you were incubating baby chicks. And so it just throws off a little bit of heat. It is hot enough that if you touch it, it hurts. And I just leave my cookies under this heat lamp for a couple of minutes, sort of work on one cookie, put it under the heat lamp, do the next cookie, slide it over. And this prevents craters every time, and it doesn't have the noise of a dehydrator. Let's get started on the taco cookies. And what I'm doing here is using a thick royal icing to add on some leaf lettuce. This is supposed to look like leaf lettuce, and I wanted it to have some texture and look a little frilly, and so using a thicker royal icing for that works. And then I'm going to come back in and add some eyes. I mean, what is a taco without eyes, I ask you? And adding a little white catch light to those eyeballs as well. Okay, let's move on to the sombrero cookies. These cookies are just a strange yellow shape until I add the details, and that is what I'm doing here. By using all those colors that I used in the piñata cookies, I can add lines and dots and other things to make these cookies extra cute. Finally, some finishing touches by adding rosy cheeks to the taco cookies, which I added some cheese and bits of tomato to as well. And here's the finished set. Really adorable, lots of bright colors, perfect for a first fiesta. And now it's time to package. I always package my cookies in glassine bags. Glassine is a smooth and glossy paper that is water, air, and grease resistant and is perfect because it is compostable or recyclable. So I like to use that and do my part to keep the planet green. So that's a wrap on another beautiful set out of the Sweet Handmade Cookies kitchen. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel to stay in the loop. We'll see you next week.